What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel Pitol in Motion. If you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Ira and I do project management and lifestyle videos. And if you're one of my lovely subscribers coming back, welcome. Let's get straight into this one, guys. All right guys, so in this video I'm going to be talking about solo tripping, getting out of the country, traveling alone. If you watched my video I put out about a month ago, you will know that I went on my very first solo trip, and guys, when I say I had the best time ever. If you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you go do that, because that's where I put up all the content from my solo trip. My experience was so good and I got so many questions why I decided to go alone and how was it traveling alone, where did I go, what did I get up to, all those kind of things there. So if you are considering going on a solo trip, which I would definitely recommend, by the way, at least before you die, do it at least once, guys. Do it once. If you are considering going on a solo trip, this video should be the one for you. If you're a little bit skeptical about it, I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons and also giving a few tips and tricks on how to solo trip more efficiently so you can get the best experience out of it. Let's get it popping, guys. All right, so firstly, what is a solo trip and why did I decide to go on one? So a solo trip is effectively just going on holiday by yourself. And traditionally, many times when you are going on holidays, you went with somebody. In society's view of things, that's just seen as normal. But you will notice that now, moving into this new generation, more people are just taking it on board to go by themselves, and that's definitely something I saw other people doing, and I thought, let me just experience, let me see how it is for myself. I went for my birthday, I went to Greece. I went to a place called Heraklion. Yeah, I'm definitely not saying that right, but yeah, it was a nice place in Greece, Crete, the island of Crete, and I had such a good time. I went for 5 days, 4 nights, which I actually think was a great sweet spot. It allowed me to get a little bit more sun, because in the UK that sun is dwindling as we speak. Those are kind of all the reasons why I went. There are so many pros of going alone, guys, in comparison to going with people, so let me get straight into that right now. The first pro of going on a solo trip instead of with other people is that you can literally make the trip what you want it to be. If you want a party trip, cool, you can go party. If you want to do more touristy activities, cool, you can go do that. If you just want to relax on a beach all day, guess what, you can do that too, because there's no one to tell, no one to confer, to consider. You consider yourself and that's it. The freedom of that alone, in my opinion, is so unmatched, especially when it comes to doing things at your own time, at your own speed, and changing plans as and if it's necessary. I know when I go on holiday with my friends, some of us like to chill, some of us like to party, so we have to put together a really strict-ish itinerary so we know what we're going to do each day, so everyone has kind of a good experience. When you're going by yourself, listen, if you said you want to get up for a hike at 9 o'clock and it's 10 o'clock, guess what? Don't matter, because it's just you. You don't have to be like, oh, sorry guys, I'm running late for this hike. No, you just say to yourself, oh, damn, I missed it. Well, I guess we go at 11. Another pro I'd say is it's just so good for your well-being, being able to reset, being able to spend time with yourself and reflect. If you think you're gonna go on a solo trip and you just won't be in your head, or more so, you won't have time to just really get to know yourself, what you like, what you don't like, basically spending more time with yourself, yeah, you will have that time, and I don't think that's something that we necessarily have time to do when we're in our house or we do things with other people, because we're also, once again, considering other people and enjoying that experience with them. And then the last pro I would say, even though I feel like all of these pros are kind of intertwined, is like just the no distractions. If you want to be in silence all day, you can be. And it's different from just being alone in your house. For example, I live by myself or with a housemate, but you know, that kind of vibe. But being alone in a different country by yourself is just so different. Like, if you need to do some particular work for whatever reason, even though I don't know why you're doing work on holiday, but each to their own. If you need to do a bit of work for whatever reason and you just need to really focus, there are literally no distractions, or there doesn't need to be. No one's just gonna call up your phone and be like, oh, do you want to hang out, or do you want to do this? And if you're not a really disciplined person that can just put their phone on do not disturb at home, this will be a good opportunity opportunity for you to bang out some of that work as well. On the other hand, I would say the biggest cons of traveling alone are, one, cost-wise, it can be a little bit more cost ineffective to travel by yourself because you don't have someone to split the cost of, let's say, the hotel room with you. Also, I would say perceived safety, and I say perceived because it can really be managed in different ways and different people feel different ways about traveling alone. But as the saying goes, there's safety in numbers. Generally, people feel more comfortable when they are traveling with other people. They feel like it's a little bit more safe. So that's another thing to consider. And then lastly, it can get lonely. Once again, you are spending time by yourself, which I believe that people are made to be interactive beings. We're meant to interact and engage with other people. So spending time by yourself for a prolonged period of time may be unnatural. You might start to feel a bit lonely, especially if you haven't done it before or you're extroverted like myself. One thing I will say is all of these cons that I've just given you, there's easy ways to get around them and manage them when you're on your solo trip. So as far as I'm concerned, the pros still way outweigh the cons. I'll give some tips on what you should do or consider if you want to go on a solo trip as well. So tip number one is definitely travel in non-peak season. And I think you do have the flexibility of doing this because one, you're not traveling with anyone else. You don't have to work around anyone else's schedule. You could just work to your schedule. And as a result, you can pick times which you can research in advance are going to be cheaper to go to that particular country. So that not only deals with the cost ineffectivity of potentially traveling alone, but it also allows you to get a nicer experience in certain areas or certain hotels which are usually oversubscribed for a cheap amount of money. So for me, for example, I knew I wanted a very, very soft life, very luxury, very comfortable, very elegant holiday. So I knew naturally that's going to be a bit more expensive. I need to go look for the deals and travel at a good time. So I traveled in September, so all the kids had just gone back to school, which was actually really, really good for me. So the prices were starting to get a little bit lower. I also stayed at 2 different hotels because I wanted a bit of a different experience in between the 2 of them. And one was called the adults only Indigo Casa Hotel. I'll also just put a link down below. Absolutely loved it there. And then the other one was the Abaton Island Resort and Spa, which is known to be very, very glamorous. And guys, it was. When I say this place was nice, I said, I've tasted something good here today. I don't even know how I can go back. Anyway, park that to the side. I stayed there, but I also knew from TikTok, etc., that it wasn't the cheapest place. I was able to get a really, really good deal at the Abaton. I literally paid like half price to stay there. And then I spent my other time at the Indigo in Casa. So yeah, basically pick the time that will allow you to get the deals effectively. So you can save money and not have to spend exorbitant amounts. My tip number 2 would definitely be to stay in a touristy area. So I went on TikTok and I researched online where are the best places for females that are solo to travel alone, like where's safest, where are the touristy areas. And the reason for that is because it's not uncommon that in touristy areas people are traveling alone. So it will also, one, you'll know that you're not the only solo traveler there. You'll see other solo travelers, which is also encouraging. But also there'll be a lot of people that speak English as well, which is really important for me, or the native language that you know how to speak, and not just the language in the country that you're going to. So for me, in terms of communicating and ordering and getting directions and trying to know what's going on, everyone spoke English because it was a touristy area. So it was just easy peasy. I basically was in England, but just in Crete kind of thing. Make sure your flight lands during the day so you're not traveling at night as well in a foreign country. It might not be that nice. Try not to tell people that you're solo tripping. I mean, it does sound a little bit like common sense, but these are all just things to make you feel a little bit more safe and to just protect yourself from weirdos that might just be looking to prey on a lone person. But yeah, if you go to a touristy area, once again, you won't be the only one solo tripping. It's quite common. Always be able to connect yourself to the internet, guys. This one's important, especially when you're traveling alone. You might get lost somewhere and you need to be able to navigate back. It's always good to just make sure you're always connected to Google, because Google be coming out so handy these days. All right, another tip is, if you're the type of person that easily gets bored by yourself, or you don't usually spend a lot of time by yourself, I'm telling you, you probably will get a little bit bored if you don't have a particular plan. So I would definitely say, before you leave, or maybe on the first day that you get to your destination, you make a rough itinerary. This could either be like excursions you want to go on, or hikes you want to do, or even if it's just putting out some time that I just want to read my book on the beach during this time. Whatever it is, try to plan out your days so you don't just feel like you're waking up in the morning and you haven't got a clue what you want to do. Start to research things you can do to fill up your time, because believe me, when you are alone, it does seem like time moves a little bit slower than when you have other people to talk to and you're doing other things. So make sure to just bear that in mind. Where you can, do adult only resorts. That's all I'm gonna say. You wanna relax? You wanna relax? Adult only. That's all I'm gonna say. My last tip then would be just to embrace the trip. Remember, it is a solo trip. Remember, you know, this is gonna be the first time you're doing this. I guarantee you, when you travel to a nice country by yourself, you will be surrounded by couples, especially if you go to an adult only resort like I've just suggested. So at times you may feel a bit like, damn, I wish my babe was here. Like, this bit, like, why did I come by myself? But don't fall into that. Don't fall into that. Listen to me, don't fall into that. Literally, times that I felt like, oh, I wish other people were here to enjoy this experience with me. Try to focus on why you are there. The pros that I listed out at the beginning of this video, you know, being able to spend time with yourself, get to know yourself, relax and refresh all by yourself, and really embrace that experience. There'll be other times that you can go on trips with your either partner or family or friends. Like, it doesn't mean that you can't have other staycations. Just focus on, what can I get out of this particular staycation? Like, being by myself, what are the pros I can get out of it? And once you really embrace that, you'll be able to enjoy the trip for really what it is. Solo tripping may not be for everyone, but I definitely think it's something you should experience, because it's hard to put in words. But I hope this video helped you understand a few of the different things that you should consider when you are going on a solo trip. All right guys, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up and remember to subscribe for more content. Let me know if you're considering going to any solo trips yourself, if you've ever been. What's been your experience? Will you go again? Will you not go again? Let me know. Let's continue the conversation down in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video.